Let's do a quick review of these brokerage agreements with our listings. I think you probably know a majority of this content, or hopefully at least sounds familiar because we have reviewed it before. First of all, when it comes to these listing brokerage agreements, they must have a definite start date and a definite end date. Now, let's say you've got a listing that you take January 1st through June 30th, and it doesn't sell, but your seller still wants to work with you. You can extend that listing by doing a listing amendment or some sort of listing change form, but you've got to extend it to another new hard end date. Okay, it's got to be date driven. So start date and end date. What is illegal in Iowa is an automatic extension agreement. So remember, we talked about that during the national content, where we said that an automatic extension agreement would say the listing was maybe January 1st to June 30th, but it only expired with a 30-day notice. So in order for it to truly end on June 30th, this seller would have had to have given a notice on June 1st. The state of Iowa think that makes a very gray area about when listings actually end. So to prevent that, because we want to avoid the gray, automatic extension agreements are considered illegal. Again, everyone deserves a legible copy of what they sign. And these next 2 bullet points here are very important for the exam. If you know or have reason to know that someone is already under an exclusive or an exclusive right to sell agreement, solicit them for business until that contract expires. Now, most of the time you will know whether they've got an exclusive agency relationship because you'll be able to see it on the multiple listing service, and on the MLS, it will even give you the expiration date. So if you come back to me with listing practices with the Iowa Real Estate Academy, we'll discuss expired listings as a part of your business to go out and earn listing opportunities, but you've got to make sure that it truly expired. Okay, then you can approach them. The only time that you can talk to a seller about their listing otherwise is if they approach you first. So when can you talk to a seller that has an exclusive listing, or even a buyer with an exclusive agreement? You can only talk to them if they talk to you first. Otherwise, you've got to wait for those agreements to expire. Last up, we talked about broker protection clauses. Broker protection clauses protect the broker so that the seller doesn't try to steal the leads that you acquired during your listing contract for the work that you did through your advertising, open houses, etc. And we can have protective clauses in our contracts here in Iowa, but we've got 3 big rocks that must be established. 1, the provision of the protective clause. The provision of that must be in the original listing contract, and you should be good to go on that one. I've never seen a listing contract personally that didn't already have that pre-written in there for you. Second of all, it must have a specific time period for after the listing expires. How long is the protection of those buyers? I've seen 30 days, I've seen 60 days, I've seen 90 days, but most agents that I poll and ask, they use 180 days. So they're typically doing a 6-month listing, and then 6-month protection clause. Third up, and this is the part that most agents don't get right, and then they don't have a leg to stand on. So in order to protect those buyers, you must give them a list of those names to the seller prior to it expiring, prior to the listing expiring. Okay. And it's got to be either delivered to them in writing or delivered via certified mail. Sending it to them via dot loop and seeing that they open the file does not count according to the law right now. It's got to either be delivered in person or it's got to be delivered by certified mail. Again, we're looking for live signatures on it.